love it. And what about yourselves? What are you guys drinking?
Scotch and eggnog.
Ooh.
It's a bold decision. I got to keep my wits about me because I'm gonna crush y'all in this discussion. I've got a delicious bubble tea.
All right.
Taro?
What's that?
Taro?
No, I don't roll with the taro.
No?
No, I can't
Is that
do
what
that.
it is? Taro?
Taro, whatever. I don't need purple milk in my life. Blue milk I would go for, but purple is too far.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I guess if that's where you want to build a bridge, by all means, that's where it's gonna be.
That's the bridge I will not build. I will not
Okay.
cross it. I won't even look at it.
All right.
Happily be the troll underneath, but that's it.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
all.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
Actually, I don't mind it at all. It's pretty good. So. Hey everybody, welcome to Press X the podcast, where it's the end of the year. 2019 has come to a close. We've had some highs, we've had some definite lows, and it's time to decide. Time to decide a lot of things, and what you're gonna hear here is an absolute bloodbath, where three of COGconnected's finest go head-to-head to come to an agreement, a consensus, top 10 games of 2019, while also discussing what the rest of the team voted winners in a bunch of different categories, like Best Looking Game and Best Narrative and Sexiest Hero. And my name's Paul. I'm your host. Along for the ride today, as always, it's James.
Hey everybody.
Do not ever sound so thrilled, James. Please keep
I know.
it under control.
Listen, I brought it in at a 9.5. I'm gonna take it down to an 8, just so everybody else doesn't catch the blast radius, and then we should be good to go.
I don't think you need to touch the dial, man. You were just fine.
All right.
I don't have any idea how many headsets you just blew out with that just beast of an entry into this podcast. And that other voice you heard, that's Rhett.
Hello, everybody. And yeah, Paul, speaking of Sexiest Hero, Hogan got robbed, but more on that later.
You may be literally the only person in the entire staff that voted for Hulk Hogan.
That's fucking bullshit, man. Especially because one of them said that they did in the group chat. One of them said he fucking did. I'm going to have to go talk to, who was it? Scott? Somebody.
Listen, we live in a post-sex tape world, and that vote is forever rescinded. I'm sorry. Shit was
Hulkster.
nasty, yo.
Okay, well, Hogan didn't release it.
Yeah, but I still had to hear it, okay?
All right, brother.
Yeah. And I didn't think it was that bad.
Which explains your vote. All right, we've learned a lot. Moving on.
More on that later.
Okay.
Oh, God. What more can there be? Anyway, so we're going to go through all of the category winners for COGconnected's Game of the Year. Category by category, kind of talk them up and see where our chips landed personally on any of these games. And then we'll move on into discussing the best games of the year and try to form that consensus top 10, which I guarantee is going to be a little rough. Rhett has some opinions. James also known to have an opinion at times.
Yeah.
So, whatever happens, whoever dies tonight, I hope you have no regrets.
Absolutely. James, you had some spicy opinions this year.
Yeah. Generally, anytime I sit down to talk about the video games, the takes that come in to the hangar are hot as fuck and a little dangerous to the touch. So you know what? That's not going to change, especially not for this countiest downest podcast of all of 2019. So, I guess fucking get ready for that or what have you.
It's the best kind of opinions.
Yeah, man.
This could be tough when I try to argue Luigi's Mansion 3 is the best game of the year.
Oh, god damn.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Um,
Nobody's going to do that.
Yeah, set up a
I wouldn't do
nasty
that to
green
you,
straw man for us to fucking knock into stuffing.
I don't know, man. I had 3 paragraphs here ready to talk about how that game deserves #1 spot.
Yeah. Are they very long paragraphs? Is it just like a bunch of pictures of Luigi topless crammed into letter size and like formatted to a single page?
They're not so much long as they are non-existent.
So
You'd be
you're saying-
surprised how many poses you can get that Luigi model into.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know, if you want to search that up on DeviantArt, it's a dark path to take, but you can do it.
It's mostly scared and horny, otherwise known as scorny.
Scorny Luigi.
Yeah. It's a fan favorite. Anyways.
Any memories you guys have outside of gaming from this year that just really stood out and you're going to take with you into 2020, the literal start of the future?
It was a trash fire? Is that the word? Yeah, it was a trash fire or several dozen trash fires. Or, if you want to be more accurate, a new one every 12 to 16 hours until we have completely and utterly acclimatized ourselves to the smell of burning garbage. But, you know, the escapism front was alive and kicking and tough as nuts. And so, great year for games, at least. So, got that going forward.
Well, at least we know what the solution is, and that is that's definitely Trump 2020. That's how we're gonna improve the world, right, James?
I'm gonna go no. Just gonna come in hot with a controversial opinion that our neighbors down south might very well not want that. I don't know. Call me crazy. Call me off the wall, off my rocker. I think maybe that's not the way.
You want to hear something really bizarre that I read recently is that he somehow has a 41% approval rating.
Oh, no, that's all the time. That never changes.
Oh, okay, so
that
it's
is
locked
literally
in at 41.
it has been 41% since he got inaugurated. It has never shifted more than half a degree.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That is his forever rating.
Good to know that he can do literally anything and stay at that 41.
There is a quote about him claiming he could shoot somebody at Fifth Avenue and it would not do anything to his points. And it might not, you know?
I think it has a lot to do with that tan.
Yeah, that's apparently makeup, and he uses a lot of it. every day.
Really?
Yeah. That's a fun fact.
I wonder if he puts it over his entire body.
Don't make me imagine that, you fucking monster. Are you gonna go in there with the very long comical toothbrush and scrub my brain free of that image?
That's a point for me already on this night. Chalk one up.
Yes. In the shock and awe guerrilla tactics debate we're about to engage in,
Yeah.
you are winning ground.
I'm sorry, man. That was dirty.
He flies by night. What can we say?
Yeah. All right. So, category winners. Who's up first? What's the first on the list?
Well, we always go with the most important thing, the thing that actually defines whether a game is good or not first. So that's best looking game.
Okay.
And there was a lot of standout games this year, but the runaway victor, it was not even a little bit close, was Death Stranding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty easy to see why. I mean, Resident Evil 2 looked good. Jedi looks pretty good, but man, played Death Stranding for 5 minutes. The Fox engine is something else, you know? Kojima, man, they got something else going on at those studios.
Fun fact, Death Stranding doesn't actually use the Fox engine.
Really?
It uses Guerrilla
Decima.
Games. Yeah, Guerrilla Games engine that they used for Horizon Zero Dawn.
Interesting.
So that's cool because it kind of looks better than Horizon Zero Dawn, which, I don't know, that probably doesn't mean anything, right?
Yeah, I mean...
Well, how old is Horizon at this point?
2
years, but it's the same engine.
Only 2 years, too. See, I thought the game was a lot older than that. because
Nah.
it's been on sale so much and for so little that I figured it was much older than that. But yeah, like Death Stranding is markedly better than, at least looking better than
Hmm.
that game.
Especially the motion capture and the human beings. Those are some of the most believable humans I've ever seen in a game.
Yeah, it's
I think
insane.
that's part of it actually. I think they did a lot more. They put in a lot more motion capture time because that really makes it feel more natural. Whereas I get the feeling with Horizon Zero Dawn, they had a lot of motion capture, but not quite enough. And so anything that had to be done with like uh, any other system, where it's like, oh no, we can just sort of like use an algorithm or like the engine or whatever to like predict or like orchestrate those movements. It suffers for it just the slightest bit, but it realistically isn't something that most games can do. It's probably why 90% of your character interactions in Death Stranding are through those fucking holograms,
Yeah,
so that
Yeah.
when you see a real person, they look like a real person.
right. I was just gonna say, yeah, that was one thing that I was noticing last night. Is it's one of those games where your character and the characters you interact with actually look like they have thought going on behind their eyes. You know, they look like human beings. They look like they're thinking like human beings, as opposed to just being glass eyed and nonsensical.
Yeah.
The
A lot of that
the
has to do with the performance, but
Hmm.
also the technology to actually capture that depth that's in the eyes of somebody who's, you know, looking
Yeah,
happy or looking sad. And I think
yeah,
they did a great job with that.
yeah.
But the runners up too, Resident Evil 2, Control, and Jedi Fallen Order, all
Like
very
RE2,
close.
RE2 looks fucking amazing. Don't get me wrong. If you, man, if you got a good PC, like please, even PS4 or Xbox, play
Hmm.
that game if you can, because it looks fucking amazing and it plays great. And yeah, that's one you shouldn't miss.
Yeah, the deformation on the zombies, like when you really nail somebody in the head with a shotgun or something, the way
Yeah,
the head blows apart, for lack of a better
yeah,
way to put it, is super impressive.
yeah. Control now Jedi. Like how does Jedi hold up? Because I still haven't played Control or Jedi. Paul, I know you just finished Jedi.
Hmm.
How does that hold up to these two, to Death Stranding and RE2 and Control for that matter?
I mean, I don't think it does, um, except maybe on a super high end PC.
Mm,
If we're looking apples to apples on a console, I don't think there's really any comparison between Jedi and the other three. Um,
mm.
Personally, I'd probably put Control in second place, but I think that has a lot of that has to do with the art and not so much the technical chops.
Yeah, which is probably why the next category went the way it did.
That's right, James. That's a great segue into best art design, which went to Control.
Was a
Yeah,
nice segue, man. I appreciate that. Control is beautiful, man.
it's it's really captured in the design decisions they made, just like down to the little individual details. Like wandering around that world they cooked up really feels like this crazy alternate reality brutalist federal office building, and that that's no mean feat. And the fact that they like allow you to segue that into like those really amazing like physics breaking fuck
Mm-hmm.
about superpower sequences is also absolutely noteworthy.
Yeah, the attention to detail is completely disgusting. Like a big part of the game is kind of looking around into the tiny corners and um, seeing what items the bureau has pulled out of the world that are magical in one way or another, and just looking at those items and how lovingly rendered an old fridge is. It's crazy how much work they put into the design of those things when they're minuscule, and probably most players are going to skip them completely. But on a more macro level, the way the the structure of the levels changes or morphs as you're going through them is crazy looking. and definitely the best photo mode of the year.
Oh,
Love a
he's
good photo mode.
Runners up there, some interesting ones. Death Stranding was in the mix, but more interesting probably is Sayonara Wild Hearts.
yeah. Makes sense to me. It's they work with what they had, and like they turned a sort of simple design. It's just like it's just a matter of like color coding and like proper animation and like smooth transitions, but like the way you move from segment to segment of a given level and the way like the camera shifts and swirls around the character and the way everything sort of like moves and accelerates through the stages is fucking incredible. And the whole color palette is fiendishly clever and like really well put together. And I love that game, man. It was so good.
Yeah, a lot of the time, anything neon will get the pass from me.
Yeah. For a few years, we had a best style category, which was a little hard for people to wrap their brains around and really understand what it was trying to capture. But if we still had that, I'm pretty sure Wild Hearts would have won that. It just oozes style.
Yeah.
Moving on to Sexiest Hero, which is a COG-connected classic. Rhett, would you like to pour one out for your boy Hulkster?
I've been doing that since 10 o'clock this morning.
It's constantly
sorry, Hulk.
pouring.
Hollywood, man, I tried, dog. Yeah, there's only so much one man can do, and if I'm remembered for anything at COG, it's that I hope it would be that I really fought for Hogan in the 2019 Sexiest Hero category. Claire Redfield beat him out. She's sexy. I ain't gonna lie. Jesse Faden, Kate Diaz, not too sure about them. Sam Porter Bridges, I understand why he's on there, but man, if I was in charge of this thing, Hogan would have won. That's all I'm gonna say.
So, Rhett, I know you're standing for your boy Hogan, and I get that. I understand that, but I need to know. I need to know, and this is very important. Are you saying that you included a Hulk Hogan in the running because the 2019 game he was in was like the WWE 2K20? Is that the one you're talking about?
That's correct. That is correct.
Jesus fucking Christ, Rhett.
He was on the roster, dog.
Yes, he was. A lot of people were. That game was so unbearably, eye-bleedingly ugly. You could have like...
Yeah, but Hogan looked good.
Did he now? Did he now?
Go back. Man, they had him in the black and white, and they had him in the red and yellow, and he looked good in both attires.
I just, oh man, this is a weird
Right,
hill
you're
to
looking
die
at this
on.
through some Hogan colored glasses, man.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Hogan, not my boy. You're the only guy who voted for him. I double checked. Nobody else gave even a single point to Hulk Hogan.
Well, I also nominated him, so that makes a lot of sense,
Why don't we talk about the winner of the category, who's the baddest ass chick in 90s games, Claire Redfield?
Yeah, she's all right.
Oh, right. Come on, man. She's an icon.
She is. She's an icon. They did a great job updating the character, too, for the remake.
Yeah. Her ass looked phenomenal.
And I know that sounds kind of like crude to say that, but the way you control the character, her butt is just like it's fully in focus. All right, like
they had that low like skate camera on her the entire game.
And listen, it's no different with Leon. There's a good ass cam for Leon too.
Yeah, for sure.
Who was nominated?
Yeah, okay.
Listen, Claire just has the nicer butt of the two of them. If Leon did more like sculpting and exercises for his glutes, he could have been in the running, but the motherfucker didn't. He skipped those days at the gym, and he's paying for it now, all right?
Yeah. Claire's banging out the squats at the gym. Leon's lifting the weights,
Yeah, she's putting in the fucking work, okay?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
That's why she won, man.
That's right.
Props to her.
Yeah.
But shout out to the runners up, Jesse from Control, Kate Diaz from Gears 5, and Sam Porter Bridges from Death Stranding, who also had a lot of butt shots.
It did.
Tons
There's
of
a lot of
buns.
his butt. And not like in clothing like Claire Redfield, but like in nothing like Death Stranding. It was a whole thing. It was.
It
Yeah,
certainly did feel like Hideo appreciated his ass.
you know what?
I'll
There's
just
nothing
say
wrong with
that.
that, but it
There's
is
not.
it is
No.
something we have to be careful with because you show a little too much of that SPB booty on the YouTubes, and you're gonna get a strike.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
yeah, it's only through the frosted shower door. That's the only thing you can get away with on YouTube.
Yeah. Ride with Norman Reedus, AMC.
Yeah.
I know about that show now. Thank you, Death Stranding.
Drinking a Monster Energy.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, I'm doing the Timefall beer now.
Oh, you're into the Timefall Porter? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm crushing it.
Which is, I want to say it's clever, but it's a little too on the nose.
Yeah.
it's kind of the whole game's deal, man.
Yep.
On the nose.
Yep. I did float a best looking food category, but we really couldn't think of anything other than the monster cans to nominate.
Yeah.
Because God, do they look good.
The best thing about that game is that while I'm drinking the Monster, while I'm drinking the Timefall, we can be listening to the incredible playlist from that game, which segues to the next category.
Yeah. Another incredible segue. I swear we didn't plan this. This is just the order that I had the awards in. But
Right?
best music went to Death Stranding.
Yeah.
Composed by Ludwig Forsell, who also did MGS5.
Yeah. I
So-
mean, as expected, right? As
Well,
expected.
Not necessarily. I looked at the list of the songs available right when we were doing the voting, and I clicked on all the links and was like, okay, I remember this one. This one's great. This one's good. This one's cool. And I get to the Death Stranding one, and I'm like, I'm at work when this is happening too, and I'm like tearing up. Just can't handle it. It's so beautiful. Oh my god. It's just like, oh, obviously it wins. All right, great. That was clear cut. I don't know.
Yeah.
Fucking powerful, man.
It really was, and it goes through quite a range of styles. Like, it's all kind of orchestral and a little bit electronic. It really goes through the range of emotions.
Extremely somber, as Hideo Kojima's music tends to be. Not his music, but his game's music tends to be extremely somber. I mean, yeah, there's his music. There's so often you'll find that there are lyrics when there aren't. You know what I mean? The like you were saying, like the orchestral
Mm-hmm.
bits of the music. Yeah, it so often speaks so much louder than any low roar lyric could. You know what I mean? Not to say that the low roar songs are bad, because yeah, it's he does such a nice mixture of everything too throughout it, and yeah.
The runners up in that category, Cadence of Hyrule.
Oh, fucking bops. Start to back, man.
It really does. I don't know if people just didn't play that game that much, but that soundtrack is pretty outstanding.
Well, it taps into a deep and abiding love of mine, which is remixes of Legend of Zelda songs.
Mm-hmm.
So it automatically got at least one of my votes, for sure.
Yeah. Other ones that were on the team's list, Days Gone.
I'm surprised Days Gone made it this far, because Days Gone was actually the game that I reviewed when I was applying to COG. And in that little review, I remember writing that other than, I think that there were like 2, maybe 3 instances where they used licensed music, and that's like a 70, 80 hour game. Other than that, I didn't really remember any like real instances of them using music, or at least where music was like effectively used, not like Death Stranding. Yeah, I'm surprised that it made it this far.
Yeah, I think it might have had to do with the title theme being pretty memorable, and that being what was in the link on the oh boy, on the form for when people were filling it out. So that might be part of it. But a lot of the music in that game was pretty ambient. But you're right, in an 80-hour game, you'd expect the music to make a little more impact or be a little more memorable.
Mm. Yeah, like I just, again, going back to Death Stranding, it seems like every few deliveries you're getting another song that comes up out of nowhere as you move along, and but it feels like very well paced. It never feels like it's too much. It always feels like it's very well paced. Whereas with Days Gone, I was I was wanting more of those moments, those. I always compare it to the moment when in Red Dead 1, the original Red Dead, when you ride into Mexico for the first time and you get that song playing and it's like just like a perfect video game moment. And Days Gone, it emulated that well, but it didn't do it enough. I don't know. It didn't do it enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the games that were behind that in the voting were way more memorable, for sure. Yeah. Sayonara Wild Hearts in there, which, I don't know, gave me vibes of Tetris Effect.
Yeah. Yeah, I was loving the soundtrack, the song that was linked to us.
Every track is a banger.
Right? Yeah, I was loving it.
I played through the whole game and every song is rock solid. They sync it up to the visuals and stuff and the gameplay really well, and so that all fits really nicely.
If you haven't played it, you should go play it because you can get through it in like, what is it, 90 minutes? It's not like a couple hours.
No,
really.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other one, which I think really should have been a lot higher, Outer Wilds, which is probably low because I don't think that many people played it.
You were raving about this one though.
Well, we'll talk about that later. But music-wise, it's mostly ambient, but it's the kind of ambient that you can tell when you've discovered something before you see it.
Oh.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does, actually.
Yeah. So you'd hear a musical cue when you entered a space, not necessarily seeing that it was anything different, but it gives you subtle hints about what's deeper in the world and what you might find if you continue exploring this area.
Love that, though. It's such a good use of that. That's the kind of thing that sticks with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. That's great.
Speaking of experiences that stick with you for the long term, we can talk about best narrative.
Ooh.
And the narrative category is for storytelling, whether it be, script or writing or visual storytelling or whatever it is. And the winner there was Control.
Yeah, that makes sense to me personally, at least. I mean, it's a really complex, well-crafted narrative that's got all sorts of crazy twists and turns and wacky secrets, and you don't fucking get enough of that in games, at least not with that level of finesse and maturity.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. I'm confident that it's Remedy's best game, both gameplay-wise and storytelling-wise. There's a lot of awesome characters, particularly Dr. Darling. He's my boy, who shows up in the training videos that you find throughout the Bureau. It's probably a good place to note that if you're spoiler sensitive, there's probably going to be some spoilers somewhere in this cast.
Oh, for sure.
Actually. Yeah, Remedy, they've been masters of narrative for years, long before Control, right? So, yeah. It makes a lot of sense that they won this one, no doubt.
Yep. They do a really good job of weaving together the world of Control with the other stuff they've done.
Yeah.
I won't say specifically how that manifests, but it's when you run across it, you're like, oh, everything makes sense in the best possible way. Yeah. Runners up there, Death Stranding again.
I mean, naturally, the narrative's going to be a little tough to follow. I think that's any Hideo Kojima game when it's being voted upon, if it's in a best narrative category, I think it's gonna struggle to take it. You know what I mean? Aside from maybe MGS3. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, it's naturally tough to follow. So, but very well done. Don't get me wrong. The again, we you mentioned earlier about how so often you're talking to holograms and stuff like that. You know, I guess those kind of replace the codec conversations
Hmm.
from Metal Gear games. But yeah, I do feel like there's a little bit too much of that. You know, it throws off the pacing just a bit, and I don't know. I
Yeah.
suppose it hurts the overall narrative. It kind of takes me out of the story. You know, when there's yeah.
Well, basically, if you're using the more holograms I had to sit through, the more likely it was to just start like skipping dialogue. I'm like, I don't want to listen to this person talk for 6 minutes. You
That's
know?
exactly what. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what did take me out of the story. Was just wanting to skip through these hologram conversations, even though they may have been slightly different. I'd felt like I'd been through them, you know, several times before, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, the middle of the game definitely drags because of
Mm-hmm.
that stuff. And if they tightened it up, it would have been a stronger narrative.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what I think the flip is between Death Stranding and Kojima's past games is this is like super on the nose all the time. It's really jamming home the theme, like from the start to the end. It doesn't change what it's telling you about the world, but weirdly, it kind of hides what else it's trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to really be paying attention to all those bits and pieces to absorb what it's saying but not saying.
Yeah, it's interesting. You can tell the fact that it's so on the nose throughout the entire game. I think it kind of speaks to how heartbroken Kojima was over, you know, how
Hmm.
everything went with him and Konami. You know, I think that it's something that deeply affected him clearly, and you see that in this game. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll talk more about it later.
Other
That
games on the list: Fire Emblem Three Houses, boys.
Yeah.
incredible,
Cool.
incredible.
I mean, I think Fire Emblem, it's weird because the overall major plot I didn't feel was like terribly strong. I was like, all right, it's fine, but like kind of predictable of,
We we'd seen it
but
before. Yeah.
but the strength is in those little narrative moments, those interactions with like characters where you're just like building up a relationship with them. That's when the storytelling really shines, and I
Yeah.
think that definitely earns it a spot on the list for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've said to everybody is those support conversations are the heart of the game. That's really what got me is was building the relationships between these students. Like it was incredible. And you would have one conversation this month and then 2 months later you would have the next conversation and they're bringing up things from the past and talking about battles and oh man, it was just so well done that relationship building amongst your class.
Yeah.
I will say that made it incredibly hard to go away from the game for a while and try to come back.
Yeah, you're a hundred
Because I
percent
was
right.
like, I don't fucking know who you are right now.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, I took probably a month off between my two like main plays, and
mm,
yeah, ran into the exact same issue. Came back and I really didn't know what was going on, but I kind of snapped back into it pretty quickly.
mm.
You know,
The last runner up on this list, which I'm kind of surprised by because I thought the narrative itself was pretty lame, was Outer Worlds.
Well, it had a story and it was very distinct
Mm-hmm.
and its own kind of memorable, even if like the core of it had some flaws and weaknesses.
Yeah, I mean, I guess some of the side things are the things that stood out for people, or the companion narratives were pretty good. It,
Yeah.
it was definitely lacking in terms of an overarching tale. It was just repeating the corporation is bad. Do you side with the corporation or not the corporation?
Yeah.
Oops, you sided with not the corporation, and oops, they're not quite as good as you thought they were.
mm.
Oi. All right.
But anyways,
What I'm really curious about is how do people feel about Outer Worlds versus New Vegas? narrative wise. What do you think? Did they write a better story with New Vegas?
For me, I think they did.
Mm-hmm. That one's like beloved.
Mm-hmm.
People, yeah, people love that game.
I mean, I'm probably looking at it with nostalgia glasses,
Yeah,
but
but it's good though.
you
It's
know,
very good.
well, I think we can agree on the best sidekick of the year
BD1.
is BD1.
BD1.
It's not even close.
Yeah.
I think.
Listen, I was just going to say, there's nobody who does adorable, approachable, agreeable, like endearing sidekicks like Star Wars and their droids. Like, it's really easy to trigger a deep, powerful love in the hearts of all who witness them. You know, like BB-8 won people over pretty much immediately. R2-D2, real crowd pleaser. BD-1, up there in the list, in the annals. Their non-droid sidekicks not as resounding a success rate, but that's fine.
Yeah, I think BD1 just brought so much personality to that story in that game. They did a lot with that little droid with just his beeps and boops.
Yeah. Well, I mean, your guy, your protagonist is like a fucking force-powered cardboard cutout because he has to be, because that's how storytelling works. So BD1 has to carry all the fucking slack.
Mm-hmm.
And he does.
He did. Runners up there, Guiji.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Parvati from Outer Worlds, and BB from Death Stranding.
Which is weird, but that's fine. That's fine.
I mean, BB's cool.
I mean,
A little annoying, though.
I rocked that little
honestly.
baby to sleep so many times.
Yeah. BB. I mean, he won't shut up at the worst times, But I appreciate the sentiment on BD1. But for me personally, the best sidekick of the year was my boy Guiji. Nothing like fucking malleable piece of jello that follows you around and can pass through jail cell bars and shit like that. Guiji, yeah, you really figured it out this year.
He has no personality, and that kind of takes points away, in my opinion.
Okay, well, if you press down on the D-pads when you're playing as Guiji, he'll call out for Mario. Okay, so he's obviously feeling something.
Sweet. So he's a slimy shade of the actual protagonist, sort of like a weird green Xerox copy of the person you're controlling originally, which is cool also, I guess, if you're into that sort of thing.
I am.
Okay,
and...
well.
That's pretty telling.
Yeah. And Guiji, I mean, what can you say?
You did. You said it. You definitely have the most words about Guiji. I'm telling you now.
And quick shout out to Parvati, who's probably the best companion. Well, definitely the best companion in Outer Worlds. Where I think they did a good job telling her story of being someone who considers themselves to be asexual, which isn't something the games really touch on or have tried to touch on in the past, and I think it's nicely handled. So
yeah,
shout out
big
to
ups for
Obsidian.
even trying to tackle that shit.
Mm-hmm. Moving along, best performance. This was also a giant runaway for Mads Mikkelsen in Death Stranding.
Yeah,
Yep.
That's because I have about as much of a fanboy affection for Mads as Hideo appears to. He won my heart early and easily with his role in Hannibal, and like after that, he was basically like, do no wrong, whatever he does, it's good. Guess what? Fucking slam dunk. And this is this performance is no exception. It's vulnerable and nuanced and powerful and relatable and just fucking A+, A+.
He's scary too.
Yeah.
Like, he's yeah, man. I know, same. I feel the same way as James. Incredible actor. Of course, he was gonna take this one.
I think what stood out most for me, and is probably most telling about his talent as an actor compared to the rest of the people in that story, and probably the rest of the people who are acting in games generally, is how much he elevated the performances of everyone around him. Any scene that included Mads and someone else, I felt like they were really bringing their chops to the table even more, elevating their game, which is the sign of someone who's a true pro.
Yeah.
For me.
You feel a little intimidated and a little in awe and a little like motivated to do better because here's somebody who's rocking it so fucking hard that you're like, well, obviously I can't just bring my fucking B+ game. Gotta go A- or better, like start to finish, you know?
Yeah, but naturally, it's just so much easier to draw that emotion from yourself when you have somebody like that. When you're looking across from somebody like that who's giving a performance like that, it's much easier to find that within yourself. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's like you said, he just elevates everybody around him. It's incredible.
Yeah, runners up. One of the people he was busy elevating is Tommy Earl Jenkins, who played Die Hard Man in Death Stranding.
Killed it. Probably the best
Yeah.
name for a character all year.
Do you get it? Do you get why he's called
Yeah.
that? Because he doesn't die. It's hard to die him.
Yeah. Oh
He
my
dies
God.
hard.
So this game wasn't on the nose at all.
Not at all.
No.
No.
Other runners-up: Ashley Birch as Parvati in Outer Worlds, and Courtney Hope as Jesse Faden in Control.
All right.
Moving along to Best Character, which doesn't so much deal with the performance. It's more the impact this character had on the story and on your experience. And this one was a giant runaway win for the Goose from Untitled Goose Game. The biggest asshole in games.
Makes a lot of sense. This fucking goose, he made a lot of noise when this game came out. You know, everybody was talking about it.
Yeah, man.
It's good.
Press X to honk.
Yeah, exactly.
For such a simple, unobtrusive character, he just made such an amazing splash on
Yeah.
social media and like in the hearts of everybody who picks this game up. They're like, oh wow, I can be just this level of shitty, and so he fucking slayed it. Of course he did.
Yeah. An interesting thing that I've seen with this game has been, like for example, my girlfriend, her parents don't care about video games. You know, they're not interested in them at all. But she showed her mom this Goose Game, and like she took right to it. She loved it. She loved everything about it. I've, and I can totally see why. Like it's just so. I don't know. It's a game that gives you such a nice feeling. You know, it's just kind of wraps you up in this warm blanket. You know, and makes you feel all fuzzy inside.
Yeah, I think a lot of that is actually the music.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I didn't nominate that for music because it's pretty
Well,
damn good.
It's good in how well it puts you into the shoes of this character and how well it like
Mhm.
draws you into the world. But it's designed in such a way that you don't notice it at first, which is probably why it didn't get
Yeah.
more nods.
Anyways, the Goose. Runners up: Ati the janitor from Control,
Yeah.
who's, horribly underused in that game, and I hope he shows up in some DLC doing some weird whatever Finland stuff he's up to. Yeah, Adi, he's my boy. He was my vote. Other runners up, we got Cliff from Death Stranding and Parvati from Outer Worlds.
Cliff, yeah. Don't have much to say so far
Cool.
about Cliff. Yeah. Outer Worlds haven't played.
Cool. So we'll move on to Best Surprise, which probably unsurprisingly from the last category went to Untitled Goose Game.
Yeah.
Definitely a
Yeah,
big surprise this year. My own personal pick was Outer Wilds. But other runners up, we had Apex Legends and A Plague Tale: Innocence.
I'm surprised Apex Legends is on here, to be honest. Do you think it won because, there's so many of these fucking Battle Royale games coming out and Apex people generally think is actually pretty good? Or, I mean, not that people don't think a lot of these are
Well,
pretty good.
yeah,
But,
because it was a surprise in the sense that they didn't talk about it or build it up or advertise it. It was just like, hey, so we have a game and it's out and it's free and it's here right now. Go download it and play it, you fuckos.
right,
And then people did, and also it was good.
right, okay.
So not only did they drop it out of the blue, but it was a great game. Unlike, for example, Radical Heights, which was another surprise drop onto the masses. It turned out to be a buggy, unfinished, garbage ass piece of shit.
Yeah.
And then it died in the hangar like it was fucking meant to. So yeah, I think Apex Legends absolutely deserves a place on this list.
Cool.
Yeah, I agree. And Plague Tale is a game that didn't really get a lot of buzz, probably because it's from a smaller publisher, Focus Home. But it's a really, really good story, and has some cool puzzly mechanics and interplay between characters. Definitely worth a look if you're interested in a tale
About a plague?
about a plague. It also deals with innocence.
Oh.
Getting into the sad part of the awards.
I
Most
think it's
disappointing.
It's the happiest point of the awards.
Really? You wanted these games to suck ass, Rhett?
Well, it's not that I wanted them to suck ass, but now that they do suck ass, well,
I mean,
do
it's
think
pretty
that
funny.
it's pretty funny, exactly. Anthem especially.
Mhm.
Anthem winning most disappointing game of the year. Uh, I think that a lot of
Yeah.
people saw this coming from the beta. Am I wrong in that?
I mean, I don't think so.
Mm.
It's a game that shows pretty well in small bursts. So if you play it for an hour or two, you're probably thinking, all right, this combat feels pretty good. I like the flying around. This seems like maybe it's an okay loop. But then it reveals itself to not be that at all, and just be a lot of loading screens and bullshit and repetitive garbage.
Yeah, the loading screens got me early, but see, I didn't even get to the point of it being an okay loop. I thought that the flying sucked. I thought that the gunplay wasn't very fun. The map was uninspired. Fuck that game. And yes, I only played the beta, but fuck that game.
Yeah, you didn't miss much not picking up the final product.
No, it doesn't seem like it. James, did you ever play this?
Anthem?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's another goddamn mission-based loot grind nonsense bullshit. I have very little time for those games on a good day.
Yeah.
It has to really fucking reel me in with some amazing shit, and Anthem absolutely did not have that for me.
Yeah, they really screwed the pooch on that one. Fuck, man. But almost equally as disappointing for me, at least, was Wolfenstein Youngblood. That game, God, it's just a shade of the tales of B.J. Blazkowicz. Man, it's not good. Not good. They put RPG elements where they didn't need to be, and they tried to make it overcomplicated. I don't know, man. They should have just been shooting Nazis with, BJ's daughters. That should have been the way it was, and it wasn't.
When
They really
did
blew
this
it.
come out? Yeah, when did this come out this year?
I want to say
was it earlier?
February or March?
Yeah, I feel like I don't even remember this game coming out.
Yeah, it's
But,
no bueno.
Yeah, right. So it must have flown. Like, is that a popular opinion? Was it disappointing amongst
Yeah,
all critics?
people were disappointed with this game generally.
Yeah.
There were expose articles written specifically about how much of a clusterfuck this game was.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I mean, I reviewed it on the PC, but it sounds like people who had played the game on different platforms had a way worse time than I did with the game functioning. I mean, it functioned fine for me, but I didn't want it to function. I wanted it to die in a dumpster, alone, cold and alone.
Mm-hmm.
And I also wanted that for Borderlands 3. That's a very disappointing game.
Yeah, fuck Borderlands.
Yeah. See, I knew it was going to suck, and then it did, and then I was vindicated. So, ha 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 ho ho ho. Yeah. That's where I'm at. It was just like Borderlands 2 to me was exhausting, and Borderlands 3 was just more Borderlands 2. So, I mean, I don't know. What more do you need to say on the subject?
I mean, I think we need to say that Jump Force was also terrible.
Oh yeah. That was like a Bandai Namco 3D fighting game. So already the deck is stacked against it.
Yeah.
And then it turned out to somehow suck even worse than those games usually do, which is honestly a fucking achievement.
Well, this one though is just like, god damn, man. They had it. They were hyping it up for so long, and they were dropping characters for so long and making it seem like this was it. This was gonna be the fighter. And
It wasn't.
Honestly, I'm surprised that it didn't win. Because they've been like Jump Force was announced years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, this should have been a fucking slam dunk. Just take
Yeah.
your same dumb engine you use for every one of these fighting games, throw in all of the fucking characters, and go home for the day. What else did you need to do?
Yeah.
They needed to make it bad, James. We know
They
this.
needed to stay up late nights, fucking missing sleep, so they could like turn the suck levels up to fucking unprecedented points in the dial.
Oh,
Yeah. Anyways,
bunch of bullshit. Back to the drawing board with this one, boys. I'm sorry.
Speaking of
Yeah.
bunch of bullshit, we got a new category this year, which I have lovingly called Get Fucked Game, which is for the biggest clusterfuck of the year. And this one was actually kind of a tight race.
Yeah.
But taking home the participation ribbon this year, Fallout 76.
No. Didn't Fallout win?
Yeah, Fallout 76.
Oh.
yeah.
Okay. So Fallout.
Yeah, we
76,
don't give out an award for this. They just get a participation ribbon.
It's just that you. It's brilliant. So Fallout 76. You Bethesda, you fuckers. You may not have won this category if it wasn't for that subscription service.
Yeah, it was time to let people forget about this piece of shit, but they
100%.
refused.
It was out of people's minds. Nobody cared about Fallout 76. Only the people that played it. A very small number. Those people, it was fine. And then you had to drop this $100 subscription service. What?
Yeah. It's kind of amazing because since Fallout 76, from what I recall, technically came out in like what, 2018?
It
Yeah.
did.
So that means it kind of should have been disqualified from the running, but they swooped in just with a fucking Cinderella story, Hail Mary, fucking long shot from all the way downtown with this like inadvertent class war that decided to start between the few remaining people that were still playing the fucking game. And they decided to work extra hard to make sure that people hated it as much as they possibly could. I feel like if Todd Howard isn't, I don't know, offering messy blood sacrifices to the fucking various board members at ZeniMax, he's probably not going to have a job at some point, because you can only be the face of the fuckitude for so long before they decide they need a new one to avert a serious PR disaster.
Exactly. Make no mistake, people.
I mean,
The
let's
ones-
be honest. It's the blood-wanting board members that pushed this through. I'm sure that Todd and the various other members of the team that actually do care deeply about the franchise hated making this, hated building this thing, and hated putting together this stupid subscription. But, you know, they kind of forced to do it when they're getting their paychecks from these people.
Fair.
Yeah, ZeniMax's board of directors, if you're ever curious as to why games go the direction they do, is the people that run the money for Bethesda are people who don't know about video games, don't play them, don't give a shit about them, just wanted to be people in charge for a major video game company, like some of them have no history or experience with video games. They just have money and like money and want more of it, and so they run the executive branch of ZeniMax and control Bethesda's fate.
Oh yeah, make no mistake that they have been laughing with you since the start of this game to try and save face. They've been laughing with you. They dropped the subscription service, and now players of Fallout 76, they're laughing at you. If you are subscribed to this, get out. Get out while you can. Save your money. The year's not over yet.
Really, you should probably just go download Fallout 4 for $4.99 or whatever it is now and install a bunch of mods.
Yeah.
Because it's actually pretty good now that people have modded the shit out of it.
4 is good, man. Vanilla 4 is better than 76, December 2019, all day.
Not even close.
Yeah.
Yeah, the obvious runner-up on Get Fucked game was Anthem, of course.
It can get fucked. It can get fucked. It was so hyped, you know. EA was so fucking hyped. This is going to be the new shit. Anthem. Everybody's going to be playing it. Destiny Killer. See you later. Get fucked, Anthem. You didn't do shit. Game sucks. Who still plays it? Did you see the article that Anthem was actually getting ready to release a major new update for the single player that was still playing the game? This news article came out a few weeks ago.
I'll tell you who's playing the game. Alex Thomas.
I think it was him.
It's true.
That was who the article was about. Yeah. So they're getting ready to drop an update for him.
Literally just for him.
It sounds like there will be a lot of content. So Alex, man, let us know how it is.
Yeah.
And following up on Anthem was WWE 2K20, which was just a garbage fire when it came out. Presumably it's gotten a little better, but I mean, goddamn.
God,
they made the Hulkster look bad, so
no,
they did.
No.
Listen, I looked up the screenshots. You were all like Stan and Hulk, and I was like, okay, let's see what it is. And man,
yeah, he looks good. He looks great. Okay, now
he's like a potato with a mustache. Okay,
he looks like a lobster in a do-rag. All right, what the fuck?
Hey. Let's not say anything that we're gonna regret. Okay, let's pump the brakes a little bit on that. First off, Hogan doesn't deserve that. Now, this game can definitely get fucked. No, the patch improved a few things, but the game is not fixed by any means. And the real reason this game can get fucked is because people are talking about how this may be like the beginning of the end of the series. These games have been around since 99 was the first one, 2000, the first SmackDown. Man, people are talking about how this might actually kill the series because now they didn't make much money with this game. Terrible press surrounded the game from the time it released till now. There's still YouTube videos popping up every day about how bad it is. So they didn't make as much money, and now there's not going to be as much money for the next game. So the team's going to shrink. The quality of the game, I can't imagine it's going to be much improved from 2K20. It's all speculation, of course, but
let's be real though. The last good game they put out was that SmackDown game on PS1.
Well, at least in that era, 100%. It was in that era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, all three of those games can get fucked.
Get fucked, yeah.
And I don't know why this one's at the end, but the best multiplayer. I don't know if I just thought of it late or what.
Yeah.
But best multiplayer of the year went in a landslide to Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Well, they really got Call of Duty back on track with this one.
They did. Right? And the multiplayer is quite good, especially gunfight mode. It's super intense.
Yeah. Yeah, everything I've seen, everything I've played has been fun. I've enjoyed my time with it. I haven't spent too much time with it, but yeah, it's quite fun.
Was Call of Duty ever off track? Like, I know critics shit on it more or less depending on various little tweaks, but I feel like the player base has stayed fiendishly loyal basically since 2004. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like,
I'd like to
He-
see the numbers from the past few games. I wonder how well they did. But I always think back to, when Modern Warfare, that first one came out, and then the subsequent games afterwards. Like that was it. That was gaming, Call of Duty. And now, I just mean that I don't see it as much in the news. I don't see Call of Duty like the yearly releases don't feel as big as they did 5, 6, 7 years ago. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I think it was definitely on a downturn, especially in I don't whatever it was a couple years ago, Infinite Warfare. I feel like that
yeah,
one was not that well received. But people love the Black Ops games. Black Ops 4 did the Battle Royale mode last year. People loved that.
yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
Um,
Does does this Call of Duty have a battle royale?
it does not, but it does have a
Oh, okay.
campaign.
Yeah,
So they brought that back. Um, to be fair, we got a lot of Call of Duty apologists on the staff that just
Yeah,
live and
it's
breathe
true.
Modern Warfare. So that's
Yeah,
probably why
there's
this won as
the
well.
votes might have been swinging in one
interesting.
direction specifically because of certain staff members.
Interesting.
Runners up, though, a little bit more interesting there. Apex Legends, which obviously has been a phenomenon this year, and people seem to be sticking with it, even though it came out 10, 11 months ago.
How is Apex doing compared to Fortnite?
Well, I mean, it's getting crushed,
Yeah,
but
yeah, naturally.
I don't think their goal was to take down Fortnite. It was more to be
No.
the choice for people who want to play a game and not do some bullshit.
Fair enough.
Know what I'm saying?
100%. And Apex came out this year?
It did in February.
Wow, yeah. Okay, yeah,
Crazy, right?
yeah. Feels like it's been
Other
around
runners up
forever.
were NK11,
I
and
loved it.
yeah,
I loved MK11. It was the first like current fighting game that I've gotten into. I guess the last one would have been the MK3 Xbox 360 arcade game.
oh
And
geez,
yeah, right. But I crushed that one. I love that one. So MK11, it's been the first one I've really played since that. And it was great, man. I love the King of the Hill mode that they added where, you get in, you have your fight. If you win, you're King of the Hill, and you've got like a cycling list of players that are watching and like commenting as
hmm
you and your opponents are going at it. I love that. And then uh the game ran very well as well. I don't really remember any instances of that hair pulling lag that tends to drive people crazy in these fighting games. I don't really remember any of that. So, yeah,
yeah.
this game was
NetherRealms really has that nailed down now. At this point, with especially with this one, there's basically no perceptible lag at this
yeah,
point. In most cases, I mean, there's obviously exceptions, but
for sure.
even with Injustice 2, I guess that was last year or the year before. That one was pretty good, but this one it feels even tighter.
Yeah.
And the last one, which I'm glad got some votes, Man of Medan.
Yeah, I think I voted for this one as my number one, maybe. Um, I just thought it was brilliant. I've been waiting for something like this for a long, long time.
Yeah,
I
it's an
hope that in the 7 sequels that they're gonna do, I hope that they figure out how to have more than one person playing over the internet. Because that's how it is, right? It's yeah, you can play like split screen,
oh no, Garrett
I
and I
feel
played over the internet.
but you can't play with like you can only play with two people over the internet, right?
Right? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Whereas, what's the mode where you can like more than two people can join in?
Oh
It's some
yeah,
sort of
yeah.
it's some sort of local mode, right?
hmm
Yeah. So I'm just hoping in the sequels that they get the 3 or 4 player multiplayer going for the full game. But yeah, I'm excited about this franchise.
Yeah, that'd be the only thing to fix. Everything else is pretty flawless in terms of that specific kind of gameplay experience.
It's exactly what I was looking for. With them coming off of Until Dawn, which was one of my favorite games that year, um, to bring in that multiplayer aspect and do it in such a seamless fashion. Um, really cool and a great kind of tech demo of what's possible with storytelling.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's all the categories we had.
Oh, some magic in there. Some real magic, no doubt.
No doubt
It was a
about it.
big year for games. But honestly, I mean, not as big as I was expecting. You can really feel that calm before the storm with the new systems coming out. You know, next gen, you could really feel it around the corner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, there were definitely some good games and some great games. If you think about years past where we had games like Breath of the Wild and God of War and Red Dead 2 and
Yeah,
Spider-Man,
crazy.
all those games that are just ridiculously good.
Yeah, that's the culmination of multi-year journeys. It's a convergence of sorts, and it's not going to come along all the time. Especially Breath of the Wild. That is a once in several generations fucking event. That's something that company took 2.5 decades to build up to. And so, I feel like a lot of years prior and post will be compared to it rather unfavorably.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that game is definitely in the conversation for being the best game ever made. Like, right up there.
Yep.
Really? I haven't played it yet.
Breath of the Wild?
Rhett,
Yeah, and I've owned the
brother,
Switch for
what are
about a
you
year
doing?
now. I know.
Rhett, I'm going to give you the elevator pitch right now. It's going to take me 45 seconds. It's very easy.
Love it. Play
This
it on me.
game takes people who don't play video games and turns them into addicts. All right? I had an ex. She didn't fuck with video games, didn't give a shit about them, hardly played them ever, And she picked up Breath of the Wild, and suddenly I couldn't get the fucking system away from her. She'd be like, she didn't work, she didn't go to school, if there was days off like that, it was just like 6-7 hours or whatever at a time. And I'm like, this turned her into a different person.
Now, were you guys big Zelda fans going into this game?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say I'm somewhat less of a fan than James is. I mean, I think Link to the Past is one of the greatest creations ever. But I mean, I don't like Majora's Mask. I didn't really love Twilight Princess, but Breath of the Wild is so outstanding.
Cool.
It's a phenomenal experience.
Cool. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna play it. It's just that these fuckers at Nintendo never put their games on sale. Come on, boys.
Yeah, and
help
that'll
a brother
literally
out.
never happen. Bite the bullet. Pay for
Right?
it full price. That's never going on sale.
Dude,
What?
it was just on sale. It was
Was
on
it?
sale for Black Friday.
Oh, fuck.
You fucked up bad.
Black Friday. Fuck Black Friday.
Anyhow,
Listen, Boxing Day is coming. Be vigilant. Stay woke. You'll get your chance. All right.
Fair enough.
yeah, stay woke, Rhett. Stay woke.
I'm too lazy
Yeah.
for
Maybe
Boxing Day,
not
man.
the appropriate use for that phrase.
I don't
but
care. I loved it.
I'm gonna go with it. You know what?
Just lean in, James. I love it.
Yeah.
So,
My usual strategy.
so like maybe we should talk about games from this year,
Okay, fine.
and maybe we should discuss what the top 10 games of this year were.
Okay.
So what I've done is compiled all the votes from our team, which I kind of just did to inform us on what generally people think are the top games of the year. So we'll just kind of go through this little list here and discuss what we think should be in contention for the top 10.
Okay.
And then we can discuss and argue and battle it out to see what the actual top 10 is in order, 10 to 1. Oh my god, it's going to be hard.
Love it. Yeah, there's a lot to go through.
Why don't we keep this first run kind of simple and just get a yay or nay? Does this game deserve to be talked about?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Death Stranding.
Yep.
Okay. Jedi Fallen Order.
Yes.
Yeah, see, I'm yes as well.
I'm a yes for Jedi. Control.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't played it, but I mean, I can't deny it. I can't deny it.
Mm-hmm. Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice.
Yeah, that one feels like it was pretty important.
Definitely got into the conversation and made a big old splash when it fucking landed for sure.
Right? Yeah.
How about The Outer Worlds?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I'm dying to play it, but these. What's the studio here that made this game? That made
Obsidian.
Obsidian. Yeah, yeah. Again, they're another one that's just like I can't deny it. I'm sure it's amazing. I know their work. I'm sure it deserves a top 10 spot.
How about The Outer Wilds?
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's another one I do not know much about.
I
See,
am gonna muscle that one into the conversation.
I actually played the demo at E3 and it frustrated the fuck out of me.
Mm.
I understand why.
It bothered me.
Uh-huh.
Real quick, what's the elevator pitch on that game?
Explore explore this crazy dangerous planet and maybe make a name for yourself, but mostly just do it because you've been commissioned to and you can't say no.
Okay, I like it. I do like the idea.
Add on to that elevator pitch, you are caught in a mysterious time loop with a mysterious ancient race where there is a puzzle to be solved in the solar system to stop this time loop from happening and save the galaxy, presumably.
Cool.
Okay. That adds a little flavor,
Mhm.
Yeah,
to,
save
to,
the
to my
galaxy.
own experience.
I can
I'll
totally
leave it.
see why you would be super frustrated playing it just out of the blue and then being like, go fly around.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not that. No. How about Resident Evil 2?
Yeah, yeah, I'd say so.
I'm hesitant to say yes just because I think remakes don't necessarily deserve that much attention.
Mm.
It's like Call of Duty or Pokemon. It's just like a given, and it's natural to assume it's going to exist. So it's weird to shout with accolades.
But then I think about the Ghostbusters remaster that came out this year, for example. That looks like it was pulled from the fucking 360. It just poured it on, just pasted onto the Xbox One. This RE2 remake is incredible.
Listen. We're gonna go a little further down the list. We're gonna get to Link's Awakening, which I think
Ah,
is a fantastic remake. Doesn't deserve to be on the fucking list. All right, it's my stance, good or bad, when it comes to remakes.
yeah.
So, James, I can see your point for something that is at its core a remaster, which I would consider Link's Awakening. I would not consider Resident Evil 2 a remaster. It is a new game.
Remake, yeah. Yeah. It really is, man.
It has
really
the same
is.
story, it has the same characters, it has some of the same puzzles, but
It plays
it's a
nothing
different
like the
experience.
original. Yeah. Yeah, like it plays like a competent game now.
Does it use tank controls?
No.
Okay, well then I guess it could be on the list.
Okay. How about Gears 5?
Eh.
It's
Yeah.
another one though that I respect it. I respect that it may be undeniable. The quality I'm sure is there.
I
But-
respect it. I liked it a
but-
lot, but I don't think it hangs in the 10.
No,
Yeah,
I don't think so either.
I was gonna say that from everything I've seen, it basically looks like the first game. The multiplayer, everything, like it looks a lot like the first game. Doesn't look like they have reinvented the series, I should say, in the
No, it
What,
is
10
it
or
is a
15
very
years now?
robust Gears of War game,
Mhm.
and that's it.
Yeah, it's the same problem with the next item on the list, Call of Duty Modern Warfare. It's a perennial release. I just don't
Yeah.
I don't think it's worthy of recognition.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. With what we've gone through so far, I don't think COD hangs with any of this.
Nope, I agree.
Yeah.
How about Pokemon?
I love those games to death, but I objectively can't score a single one higher than a 78, and I'm okay with that.
Rhett,
Yeah,
what do you
yeah.
think?
I haven't played them yet. I really want to, but again, like take this game and put it next to Death Stranding. I think it's. I don't
Well,
think.
yeah, but like it's not going to be number one. But like, is it going to be on the list?
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
put it next to Jedi. No, Sekiro. No, Outer Worlds. Probably not. RE2. No, Gears 5. No. So I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, part
It's
of
a
how
tough.
this works is like usually somebody has their passion project that they're desperate to get any kind of recognition and maybe sneak into number 10. So if there's a game that you feel that way about, I mean, bring it up when we get to it. But if Pokemon's not that game, it probably is not going to be on the list.
From what I've heard, a lot of what I love about those games has been cut. So
Hmm.
it's tough. I really need to play that for myself.
All right. How about Disco Elysium?
It sounds amazing, and I never played it, and I feel bad.
Yep, exact same feeling. I wish I
Apparently,
did.
when you're in dialogue trees and you're like having the different options before you, your skills will fucking whisper to you to choose certain options.
Yes, I've played quite a bit of it now because I really wanted to play it before we did this cast. It's worth talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think it probably tentatively definitely has top 10 status.
Yeah, on this entire list, I would say that this is probably my biggest regret. I wish that I played this game the most.
List of shame.
Yeah, it's a 2020 playthrough for sure.
Yeah. How about Days Gone?
No.
Fuck, I loved Days Gone. Fuck, this was a good game. Oh man, it just it's frustrating that this was clearly a game that should have been released on the PS5. It didn't run very well. The more skilled and like the better equipped you got, the worse the game ran. But man, this was good shit. This was a very good game.
So you think this is sniffing around the top 10?
Yeah, I do. For me
Right.
personally, yeah, I would. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah,
Fire Emblem.
top 10 for sure. This is probably my number two.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Okay. All right, we got to talk about it
Big
then.
move, big swing.
I love this game, man. I never played, like I was saying it last show. I'd never played Fire Emblem before. This was my first one, and I absolutely loved it.
For me, it's complicated because I had a whole lot of fucking fun with this game, and I thought it was a really amazing time. But I worry that what I enjoyed about it had little to do with what made it a good game.
Mm.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I really loved like crafting proper characters and like getting lost in the minutia and like the little like side conversations, but like the big sweeping motions and the like the larger elements, I feel like it didn't resonate with me as much. And like for me, it's on the top 10, but in a complicated way.
Mm.
I would say that's probably a lot of the same kind of arguments that we're going to have about Death Stranding. So if we're going to put
Yeah,
that
but for
into
me,
the top 10 based on that, maybe
Yeah.
Fire Emblem deserves to be in the talk too.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
DMC5.
Eh,
It's
I,
fun, but I don't think it's top 10 fun. I don't know.
Yep. I'll
yeah.
pass.
Again, I respect the game. I respect the quality, but I don't know. I'm just kind of over this kind of game right now.
Link's Awakening. James, you don't think so?
Well, I just remakes and perennial sequels tend to lessen themselves in my eyes. I loved Link's Awakening. It's probably gonna slot nicely into my like top Zelda games roster, which is basically Breath of the Wild and this and Link Between Worlds. At least that's come out in the last decade.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a remake, and I feel like that kind of works against it in a top 10 list.
Okay.
How did this game do in the best looking game category? Because it was nominated, right?
It was.
Yeah. I had thought that from the first screenshot I'd seen of this game that it was gorgeous.
It is.
Right? I love the visual
It's
style.
it's crazy beautiful.
Yeah, yeah.
It
But
came
top 10,
in fifth place.
fifth place. Okay, yeah. But again, top 10. Looking at what we've gone through so far, yeah, tough to say. I don't know.
Yeah. See, it's in my personal top 10 games of the year, like easy peasy. But like if we're doing
Yeah.
like just the top 10 games of the year,
Right.
I'm not as certain about it.
Right. Right.
I mean, the intention here is that this is our 10 consensus favorite games of the year. It doesn't necessarily
Yeah.
have to be the best objectively good.
Mm-hmm.
How about Untitled Goose Game?
Love the charm. It's got charm coming out the ass. But top 10? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of on board with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like top 20, sure.
Yeah, easily.
But yeah, top 10.
MK11.
Personally, I loved it. Again, I don't know if I'd go top 10. It's oh man, it's so tough with what's been called out so far, but MK11, man, it just ran so well. Played so well. I was really impressed. We were talking about the latency with the online play. Like I was really impressed with that.
Mhm.
And visually, and there's a really good tutorial system in that game that I'm again, like I was a fairly new player to those games. I had much to learn, and I didn't feel completely hopeless. I went in the tutorials, felt like I had a good base to work off of, or base to like build my game from. And yeah, so I felt like they did a lot right with that game. um but top 10. Yeah. They did add the Terminator DLC.
Yeah, no,
Like
that doesn't
every
fucking count
game
because they were
in
putting him in every game because the Terminator movie was coming out
Yeah.
this year.
Good
Doesn't
point.
count.
Good point. Yeah. What about Spawn? Spawn's in there too.
really.
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was great in 94.
Yeah.
You fucker.
Let's leave it on the list for now. Let's leave it there.
Yeah.
We can come back to it. Borderlands 3, probably a hard no.
No.
Yeah.
Man.
How about Metro Exodus?
Eh.
It's a solid 7 of a game.
Yeah.
The most 7 we've ever seen.
I wanted to love it. I wanted desperately to love it, but it had a lot of bugs. So many bugs. Luigi's Mansion 3.
Whoo. Shit. James?
I don't know, man. I'm sure it's great. I think we give a fuck about it. I don't know. Like,
I'm sure it's great.
fucking, it just felt so fucking like.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
I mean, I haven't played it, so Red, if you want to make a case for this thing, be my guest.
Is it better? Did I have more fun with this game than MK11? No. Fire Emblem? No. Days Gone? No. RE2? No. Sekiro? No. Death Stranding? No. I don't think it deserves to be in the top 10.
All right.
I share the same sentiments that most people share. It's very well made, but like I don't think it's anything groundbreaking. I don't think it's anything to to go crazy over. It's a good game, is what it is. It's no Super Mario Odyssey. It's no Smash. It's not. It's certainly not the game where if you're buying a Switch, you need to buy this game first. It's the 9th or 10th game down the line that you need to buy.
How about Cadence of Hyrule?
Mm.
I think this is definitely a top 10 game.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty cool. It's a rhythm game though, and I'm not great at those, so it kind of colors my opinion of it.
Mm.
Like
Right.
Yeah.
I just suck at rhythm games, and so I'm less inclined to play it.
Does this game work similarly to how Crypt of the Necromancer works?
It's the
In
same
the,
game.
It
it's the
is
same
exactly
game.
the
Yeah,
same.
yeah, yeah.
It's
Okay.
the game with a
So,
different skin. So like if you loved Crypt of the Necrodancer or bought it in one of its 47 sales, its experience, then you'll probably like it.
yeah. Interesting.
Hey man, it's got
Interesting.
every good thing from Crypt of the Necrodancer, including the shopkeeper. And so if you've ever wanted the shopkeeper to sing the tunes from Zelda, this is the game for you.
Yeah.
I much prefer the visual style here of Cadence as opposed to Crypt, but I don't know. I'm with James. Rhythm games. Yeah.
Wow.
D-
You guys have no idea how wrong you are.
And no, and I'll never know. I will have to live with that hole in my knowledge for the rest of my life,
yeah.
never fully understanding how fucking off base I am about Cadence of Hyrule. But it's just, I don't know, man.
Listen, I'm going to write it down here just in case I'm able to break down the arguments for every other game. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Slay the Spire. Anybody else play this?
Great game, never touched it.
Yeah, this was that card game, right?
It
Yeah.
is
Oh,
awesome.
also, it's a fucking roguelite, so
Yeah.
I pass.
Pretty good. Pretty good. No, honestly, I do think that it's pretty good, but top 10, no.
Yeah. It's tough to get into the top 10, but the thing I would say for you, James, is that despite being a roguelite, it doesn't feel terribly defeating when you lose. Because you will lose. It has a great ramp where you feel like you're getting more powerful over the course of your run, and you're able to do cool stuff the whole time. So if and when you lose, it's not the end of the world that you didn't beat it.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's a plus.
Yeah, it's a plus. Anyways, moving on. Apex Legends.
Negative.
It's not top 10.
I'm sure it will be on lots of top 10 lists. It is not on my top 10 list.
No.
No.
How about Bloodstained?
Bloodstained, I loved and adored and waited for, and it's in my personal top 5 of the year, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bloodstained.
Bloodstained was cool, and it had David Hayter in it.
Did it really?
Yeah, he's in there. He plays
Solid Snake.
Zangetsu. No, right? So he sounds like Solid Snake.
Of course he does. That's the guy. That's his voice.
Yeah. You're not. It's not even a joke. Like it pretty much is. He slightly plays it up, but like MGS1 Snake, that pretty much is David Hayter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man of Medan.
Man, I'm just a big horror fan, and this game was very cool to me.
Okay, put it in the conversation.
Yeah, I really like that game.
Astral Chain.
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah. Kingdom Hearts 3. Fuck this game. I should have put this on Get Fucked Game.
Yeah, I wish that I was a fan of the series so I could have a better opinion on this, but from everything I've heard, people are pretty much like, fuck this game. So
it's like if you took the most bullshit Final Fantasy story and made it worse by putting it through a meat grinder and then smashing it back together and then throwing Donald Duck at it.
Oh.
I hate Kingdom Hearts. It sucks. It plays like a PS2 game too.
Yeah. So do you hate 3 or do you hate the entire series?
I love the first one, but they haven't evolved the game since then. Kingdom Hearts 3 plays like an early PS2 game. It's not fun. And I think the people who think it is fun are kind of fooling themselves because they love the idea of the franchise.
Yeah.
Children of Morta.
It's good. It's a fucking roguelite, but it's good.
Okay. I think if we had managed to get Alex here, we would probably talk about it more, but I have played very, very little of it.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think I've heard of this game until tonight.
Ooh, boy.
Yeah.
I guess that's a no then.
Yeah.
How about Neocab?
I
Um.
I thought the style of it was pretty cool, and the little bit I played was pretty well written, for the most part. So, top 10 certainly not, but I do think that this is one. If you look at the trailer and you think that it looks kind of cool, you should play it because I think you'll like it.
Yeah, I played all the way through it on a flight one time, and it's really good. It's really well written. The music is awesome, and it's a unique way to present a game, being that you are just driving a cab the whole time. So, I mean, I really enjoyed it, but I don't think it's top 10 material.
Fair.
How about Remnant? James, you love this game.
I hated it less at the end than I did at the beginning, so I guess that's pretty cool.
All right, we'll slot it in at number 3 then.
Maybe like 11 or 13.
Okay, we'll just put it in there. Did anybody play Judgment?
Fuck no.
Yeah, me either.
What the hell is this? Oh, yeah.
Judgment.
This is this Yakuza.
Judgment.
It's
Yeah,
not
Judgment is what you
Yakuza.
play when you run out of Yakuza games and you just don't want to play anything else, but
Right.
you want to keep playing Yakuza.
Yeah, yeah.
What
no.
the Gulf?
Heard great things. This is another one that I think in 2020 I will play.
Yeah, it's amazingly clever, but it is more of an idle thing to do than a game I wanted to play. Ukulele 2, the invisible lair. Is that what it's called?
Invincible Lair? I don't know.
Yeah. The
Really
first
getting
one's
into
cool.
the dregs here, hey?
Yeah.
Definitely. The first one was cool. Didn't play the second one.
Well, let me put it this way. Why don't, if there's anything left on this list that anybody wants to bring up and talk about?
For top 10? Nope.
Yeah, like there should be an honorable mention for Ghost Recon Breakpoints with how bad that game was.
I am
That shit
shocked
sucked.
that in our voting, Ghost Recon got more points than the Division 2.
Yeah, it did.
That's fucking ridiculous because, the Division 2 is at least...
That makes me think nobody played the Division 2. And
Yeah,
I did not play it either. But
I mean, I played all the way through it because I reviewed it, and
yeah,
it's a great game. It has the best encounter design of a loot shooter I've ever played.
really.
But the way that game just fell from grace because they didn't keep it up the way they did the Division 1
Yeah.
or keep the interesting content coming. People just fell away from it so hard. And,
Yeah.
It's got probably a mid-80s Metacritic score, but just nobody talks about it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Cool.
Other than that,
All right, well, that leaves 15 games and 10 spaces.
Okay, let's...
Now, wait. I see, James, you and I both have our names under Katana Zero. That was a cool game.
It was. It's not top 10 cool.
Not top 10 cool, but yeah, I thought that the story was kind of interesting. That little girl, she was cool. And the music was really nice. It had an interesting concept. I like how you were like essentially playing the CCTV footage of what was going on, and you could rewind it, and well, not rewind it, but if you died, it would rewind, and yeah, I thought that game was kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah, not top 10 though.
Well,
Do we want to start at number 10 or number 1?
let me
I think
ask you
10.
guys this. What do you think is the number one game of the year?
Death Stranding.
Death Stranding, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
If only because it sweeps so easily so many categories, and like other games feel pretty good, but they don't feel like they quite reach number one status. Paul, what's your pick for number one?
This is probably going to be a surprise, but I think the best game of the year is Outer Wilds.
Ooh.
Okay,
Outer Wilds.
Yeah.
but why? Make your pitch.
Yeah, you got to sell me on that one.
As I mentioned earlier, you're basically stuck in a 22-minute time loop. And if you know what to do to finish the game, you can do it in about 5 minutes. But you don't know how to do that. You don't know how to do anything. All you're really told is, here's a spaceship, and there's some stuff out there. You should go explore it. And the act of exploring in this game is a tremendous journey of discovery. In that, I think I mentioned earlier, the music does a great job of leading you towards the things that are interesting, and subtly pointing you in a direction that you might want to explore. And at the end of every time loop, you're sent back to the beginning with additional knowledge, which is helpfully kept in a journal so that you know some of the things that you looked at. So if you go away from the game and come back, you kind of know where you can pick up. But I found every time I went through the loop, I wanted even more desperately to find out what was going on in this world, or what was causing this time loop, or what's on that planet over there. It's a super compressed solar system, so in the course of the 20 minutes, you can potentially visit 3 or 4 planets pretty easily. Control is not the best I've seen, even in a Unity game, but it's really that act of discovery, and when you figure out what's going on and decide that you know how to solve this game, it's an amazing feeling. And I'm really sad that I can't go back to before and play it again, because now if I sit down, I know how to beat it, and I can just do it in 5 minutes.
Well, I'll be honest. I do want to play it now. Yeah, that does sound very cool.
I mean, I don't think I'm going to convince you guys that this is the best game of the year.
Game of the year? Cool? I don't know, brother. I don't know.
I can definitely see this worming its way up to the top 2 or 3 slots, because it's like a fucking sort of Cinderella story with a really fascinating core concept and a really clever execution, nicely contained in such a fashion that you can do 5-minute speedruns if you're so inclined and if you have the necessary skills. I think those factors definitely put it in the top 10 slot, which is impressive because I didn't even have this on my fucking radar for rankings whatsoever before you made your pitch, which is truly noteworthy. I'm not quite willing to concede the top slot, but I think we could very easily make a case for either 2 or 3, depending on how we feel about the rest of the list, but no lower than 3, no matter what happens next.
Yeah, based on your pitch, I want to play it now more than anything that I have not played on this list.
Okay. I'm willing to take that as a win. I'm putting it as number 3 for right now.
Okay.
We can always shuffle things around if we feel passionately about other things.
I see Jedi in that 2 slot, but honestly, I want to play Outer Wilds more than Jedi now. And from what you've described, I would most likely enjoy Outer Wilds more than Jedi. I really want to play that game now. That was a good pitch. God damn. I'll admit.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I've been preparing all day. I've been speaking into the mirror, talking to that handsome devil in the mirror and telling him what a great game Outer Wilds is.
Right.
It really is
back
outstanding.
to you.
I will upon reflection, put Outer Wilds at number 2 because Jedi Fallen Order and Control both suffer from performance problems depending on the system you play it on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, unless they put a patch on it, you can't really play Control on a regular PS4.
Oh,
They have patched it.
Yeah, like at the last time I tried it, it was fucking unplayable on a regular PS4. But like that doesn't mean like a PC version of it. You can get that to run smooth as butter. Same with Jedi. So I mean, it's not like a huge downside for me because I have both systems, but it definitely is a mark against them.
I would definitely give Control more of a pass on that, being that it was published by 505, who are the little guys, and the quality of the game, the narrative, the art, the music less so, but the gameplay, and to put it out with such a small publisher, with such a small marketing budget, I think it's pretty impressive for what it is. Obviously, it'd be better if it ran better, but I give more of a pass.
So with this pitch in mind, because you're right, narrative wise and design wise, it is fucking stellar. So far, the list I have in mind is Death Stranding, Control, Outer Wilds, Jedi Fallen Order, with the rest of it to be determined later.
Okay, let me just put that in our doc here and see how that feels. All right, let's leave that for now and see what else we're feeling. Should we try to tackle the bottom 3 or 4 here?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I personally think Days Gone doesn't need to be in the top 10, but I am not in the majority on that opinion. So let's hear your counter arguments.
I've just got a quick one, which is that I put it on my personal list at number 13.
Ooh.
God damn. Well, I'm really gonna have to talk this fucking game up then, aren't I?
I mean, I love Sam Witwer as Deacon. I think he did a great job, and some of the narrative moments are the best parts of that game.
No doubt. Yeah, like the direction of the game is very well done. Most of the time, you feel like you're watching a movie. But I think that even more so than that, the minute to minute gameplay, that loop of staying crouched, sneaking into freaker territory, popping a trunk and stealing the supplies from it, going in and crafting a couple weapons, and then maybe stealth killing a couple freakers, getting to your objective, and then sneaking back out. That gameplay loop never got old. Throughout my 75, 80 hours with the game, that like intensity, that nervousness that you would feel running, like the hordes in that game are crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And that feeling of nervousness and tension, it's unlike most of these games on this list, I feel. I like I was saying earlier, I think that the developers were probably future proofing it for the PS5. I really think that we'll see this game remastered on the next console, and it'll run flawlessly, and people will be like, yeah, okay, this is actually a really good game now. I think that the technical shortcomings of the system and how hard they were trying to push this game hurt the overall product and the overall score and feeling of the game once it was released. But man, this game did a lot right. The performances were incredible. A lot of like the visual effects, the fire. The fire was some of the best looking fire I've seen in a game. I remember that really stood out to me. Those Molotovs were were so fun to use because of that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like the first time you see a horde that's 250 or 300 freakers deep, whatever it is. Man, I can't remember feeling anything like that in any of these games or in games years prior. Like they really nailed the zombie apocalypse more so than probably any other game I've played. And as I don't know, as kind of passe as zombies are nowadays, and as maybe saturated as that market is, I feel like these guys did the zombie genre better than anybody.
I mean, I think people were determined to shit on this game before it came out. I don't know why.
The trailer was kind of hokey,
Oh, sure.
But most of all, I remember her hair, the smell, fuck, and I remember my motorcycle. It was kind of hokey, no doubt. But if you gave it a chance, there was a lot of meat on that bone.
I might say there was maybe a little too much meat on that bone because I think this was like a 25-hour game stretched out to 70 needlessly.
Well, see, that's how you want to look at it, because when you get to like I guess maybe the halfway mark, the game like changes a lot. It's essentially it's not a different game, but maybe a new game. Maybe that's the right term for it. Yeah, like suddenly everything is like just like a 180, everything turns on a dime, and suddenly you're playing this entirely different story. So I
Yeah,
don't know.
I agree
It's a
with
good
that, but I
game.
think the pacing was so off with that. There was so many missions that I
Mm,
mean, mechanically they were fun to sneak around and chuck some Molotovs and do all that stuff, but there were too many of them to keep me invested in what Sam was doing, right?
right,
Or
right.
a Deacon,
I
Sam's
see
the
what you
actor.
mean. There was a lot to do in that game. Yeah.
Hmm. So where do you think this belongs, Rhett?
Okay. So out of what's on the list, uh, man, personally, I would probably have this definitely in the bottom five. I want to say maybe around this, maybe the 8 mark. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think it's quite 10, but yeah,
Let's put it at 8 and see what happens.
yeah.
I guess. I don't know. Fuck zombies, man.
I
I'm
know.
so over
See,
that shit.
I know the feeling. Believe me, I know the feeling. But I appreciated that these were the smarter zombies that could run and chase you down.
Okay. So, counterpoint. I haven't played the game, so I don't have a lot of expertise in this. But, Rhett, answer me this.
Mm-hmm.
Was there an overworld map that was full of markers for you to run off and tick off, like items on a grocery list?
Well, yeah.
Oh man, then just kick it off the top 10 altogether. An open world game using the same formula that open world games have used for the last decade that also involves zombies? Fuck me.
Yeah, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And
It is broke. It's so broke. It's so fundamentally broke.
I don't know.
If it ain't broke.
Days Gone
Oh
did it
my.
right, and it's the hordes that you were running around and taking off. It's not like for I mean they okay, so they would send you to an area, for example, and then you would it's not like they were sending you to this specific spot and having you tick off a list of things to do, it was more so go and like take care of this area, if you can, and you'll like clear your path, or you'll make it easier on yourself for later parts, or for later in the game. It was kind of about clearing a path. I would say.
So explain to me how
Paul,
that's different than any Ubisoft game ever.
yeah, Paul, tell me how many items on the Ubisoft open world checklist does this fucker tick off
Oh, it's got
flawlessly?
towers. It's got
Was this
towers,
game?
baby.
Was this Ubisoft?
Fucking tower. No, and the fact that you don't know that says a lot about the quality of this fucking
Well,
game.
no, but that's what I'm saying. I knew it wasn't Ubisoft. That's why I'm like, what are you guys bringing up Ubisoft? Fuck Ubisoft. Fuck everything they stand for.
It's got towers. It's got checklists. It's got a massive map full of nonsense.
Okay, but they're living in a post-apocalyptic world where there's no means of communication other than radios, and they need to fucking tune up the radio towers, so that makes sense. Climbing those fucking towers and getting that shit going makes sense.
You're advocating for the existence of towers by drawing attention to the fact that it's a post-apocalyptic game in a landscape which is literally choking with them.
Okay, but y'all act like climbing towers and getting a real serene view is a bad thing. I love that shit. What's wrong with climbing a tower?
What's wrong with it is that there is a massive list of games that use this to basically what the tower mechanic does is it says, okay, you have a checklist of shit to do, and it's fine, it's manageable. If you feel like you want 20 more items on that checklist, go to this tower and unlock it. And then you can just do that over and over and over again. And basically what you do is you create a longer and longer checklist of tasks that start to repeat themselves and feel intimately familiar, at least within the larger structure of the game, the longer you play it. So you'll have like your rescue missions, your stealth missions, your assault missions. You'll have your retrieval missions for supplies. You'll have recon for information. And I can't speak to every individual example of this trope, but the fact of the matter is the more of these stupid fucking towers you unlock, the more of these cycles of missions you're going to start peeling through, and the more it's going to feel like a chore, like you're just like,
no, see, that's the thing though. The game never felt like a chore. All those missions, that cycle of missions, never felt like a chore. It was always interesting. It was always fun to have to sneak into these places, extract whatever you needed to, get the hell out of there.
So it's generally a mission of sneaking and extraction.
Well, if you want to play it like that, you can play it.
You can play it like Rambo.
Yeah, or you could go in there and absolutely play it like Rambo, and which is a lot of fun too. Taking out 300 of those fucking freakers as they're chasing you down through the sawmill or something like that. That's a lot of fun. But it's a lot of fun to sneak through and go undetected.
And I will say that the game is a lot more flexible than a lot of other experiences like this, where there are specific fail states. There are definitely moments where, you walk through the door and you've triggered the apocalypse. Now the zombies are here, but it's way more flexible with, if you stealth your way through this, you stealth your way through this, and if you don't, then you better try to figure it out anyway. So it does give you a lot more opportunity to play with the mechanics and use the various systems that are built. And Brett's right with talking about the horde mechanics. It's extremely impressive in action with the hundreds of zombies. They kind of flow like water over, whatever happens to be in their path. So dealing with those guys is interesting, and it is a little less like a checklist than maybe you're thinking, James. It definitely has all those things. It has the retrieval. It has the assault. It has all those things. But it's less building a list than something like, I don't know, Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Definitely.
Where these are pointless checkpoints.
No.
Okay,
see, that's where the disconnect with the Ubisoft reference was with me, because these games are not open world Ubisoft games, or this game is not.
Fine. Okay.
Yeah.
So we've got our top 3 slots pretty much on lock. Are we cool with Jedi at number 4?
Does anybody think anything should go above that?
I don't, personally.
I could see an argument for Resident Evil.
Yeah, I was gonna say RE2 is really cool.
It's a great expansive remake that changes a lot of things, but it's still like a remake. So
yeah,
I mean, I could see it going. How about this? Jedi number 4, and then RE2, and then Sekiro, and then Outer Worlds.
Jedi 4, RE2 5, Sekiro 6, Outer Worlds. Yeah, 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 yeah.
I'm down for RE2 at 5.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
But I think Outer Worlds should be lower.
Okay.
Interesting.
So,
For me, that's a bubble game. That's like 9, 10 in there with Days Gone.
okay, great. Chuck it. Put RE2 at number 5, and then Sekiro, and then yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Now, before we go on, is there any chance we could just take a 60-second break?
Rhett, have you consumed about 12 nude vodka sodas and now your little bladder's about to burst?
Bro, I'm Abe Simpson in the back seat right now. My kidneys are about to pop.
Yeah, why don't you take a little breather and James and I will just sit here and talk shit about you.
It's like, oh, love it. Love it. Can't wait to listen to this back.
Yep.
Yeah.
So while he's gone, should I just move Days Gone down to number 16, 17?
Listen, you ended up advocating for it in addition.
I mean, listen,
So,
I think it's a good game. I think it's a very good game.
Okay.
But does a very good game deserve to be in the top 10?
I mean, not unless there's something below it on the list that can usurp it. And personally, based on the selection that we've cooked up, I don't know that it really. I don't like. Gates of Hyrule is great, but I don't know if it's top 10 worthy. Bloodstained, I loved, but it has some trubs.
Okay,
I
here's a
personally
question.
think,
Is Gears
two.
5 a better game than Days Gone?
I don't know. I would put them I would put them at best on equal footing.
Yeah.
Cause I don't know, man. Gears is great, but to me, it's in the same camp as Call of Duty,
Mm-hmm.
where although the gestation time between 4 and 5 is a lot more extensive, you could still pretty predictably rely on its appearance in a future installment to be somewhat improved over the previous iteration. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's going to be another Gears game. It's going to be better than the last Gears game. It's going to be fine. And I'm just it's the same with Call of Duty, which is why I didn't advocate putting either one on the list.
I mean, I reviewed them both, and I gave Gears 5 a higher score, mostly because it has more stuff. It has more things for people to do, so it's got a wider appeal. But which game would I rather play? I'd probably rather play Days Gone.
Well, there you go. Then fucking there you have it. That's all there is to it.
As opposed to...
We were talking about putting Gears 5 above Days Gone.
Yeah, no, all day I'd rather play Days Gone. All day.
Okay. MK11. Rhett, what do you think? Should that make it onto the list?
No, the 10 games that we have on the list right now, I think that's probably right. MK11, I know, Paul, you'd probably say Cadence is higher. Maybe Bloodstained is higher. And honestly, I did probably enjoy this Man of Medan better than MK11. But that's a good game. It is a good game. It's very well made. If you're into bloody fighters, play MK11. It's really all you could ask for.
Is there anything on the level of that fatality where, I forget the character, literally breaks the testicles of her opponent?
Yeah, there's some good fatalities. I was a big fan of Johnny Cage's when you would see him. It would he would break the fourth wall, and suddenly you would be on a movie set, and he turns his opponent into a puppet his hand is up their ass and then moving their mouth as a puppet. Fatalities like that tend to get me. But
Wow.
right? I haven't seen any of the DLC though. I haven't seen any of these DLC fatalities. I'll bet you Arnie's got some sick fatalities. I'll bet you Spawn does. Who else is in there? Yeah. Good game, not top 10.
Okay. James, do you want to make a case for Bloodstained to be on this list?
I've been thinking about that. And I loved it. Had a lot of fun with it. It's on my list personally, but I think it didn't quite make the same impact collectively as these other titles. Like in terms of like how it resonated with me and with people both. I think Fire Emblem absolutely fucking trounces it.
Mm-hmm.
And Days Gone is a solid AAA output, even if I could give a fuck about it. And Outer Worlds has a fabulous story and a system that people have been starving for ever since Fallout 4 started the chain of Bethesda disappointment. Same with Disco Elysium. That rocks a story system that we have not really seen in years, if not ever.
Yeah.
I would personally pop out RE2 and put in fucking Bloodstain right quick as you like, fresh as a mint. Because I think remakes don't make the list, in my opinion. Hard stop. That's just my personal bent,
Wow.
you know? I know. It's not a popular opinion, but like, it's the same reason I didn't vote for fucking Link's Awakening. Because we seen that shit before.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like I said before, Link's Awakening is a remaster. RE2 to me is a new game.
Yeah, which puts it above Link's Awakening. Yeah, there. That's my take.
I mean, RE2's got to be on the list. It's got to be on there for me.
And not below Bloodstained. Bloodstained is very well made, but it's not as well made as RE2. I'm totally with Paul on this one. RE2 is a new game. You know, the original might as well not even exist at this point.
I could see Bloodstained going in there instead of Days Gone or Outer Worlds.
It's tough.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, I think Outer Worlds is a fine game. The shooting's pretty good. The stealth's pretty good. The chatting and the mechanics are pretty good. But it's quite a narrow experience.
It's so tough because those 6 games that are there, is Days Gone included. So those 7 games there at the bottom are all fine games.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Oh, now it's tough.
Mm.
Now it's tough.
Fine. I will vote to take out Outer Worlds and put in Bloodstained.
Yeah, like Bloodstained is good. And I think that it got a lot, I was saying earlier, I think that it got a lot of shitty press because of the terrible Switch port, which has since been patched and apparently runs great now. But yeah, I wish I played the Outer Worlds.
Well, I mean, let me tell you, I don't know. I think it's one of those games that the more I play it, the less I like it.
Yeah.
I think that Disco Elysium has a better story and narrative system than Outer Worlds, which kicks it out of the top fucking 10.
Oh, Disco Elysium is far superior in the storytelling category.
Yeah,
it's not even close. It's maybe one of the
there you go.
It's maybe one of the best written games I've ever played. Period. Like you alluded to earlier, James, the story system does have pieces of your psyche and your consciousness trying to convince you to do things. So if you're playing a big dumb brute, he's probably going to be telling you all the time that maybe you should just hit that guy, or maybe you should just try to impress with your physical prowess. You don't necessarily have to listen to your psyche, but they do have a certain temptation that they make you want to do these things. It's very psychological, and the way it's written, it goes from being laugh out loud hysterical in 1 second to like tears welling up in your eyes depressing the next second, and it just waffles between these extremes of emotion, just like, you know, in a stressful situation you might have in your own internal dialogue of being confused about what to do or not do, and eventually making the wrong choice, which leads to you developing new traits that maybe you didn't want. And I think it explores avenues for game storytelling that have never been done. And if you're going to think about classic RPGs going forward, I don't think you can release one now that doesn't at least attempt to do some of the things that Disco did.
All right. I'm up for it. I'm down.
So personally, I
I'm
think
up and I'm
Disco
down.
goes above Sekiro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah. So we switch those two, and then I think the list is fucking perfect.
Okay. So for those that cannot see this Google Doc, we've got 10-1, Bloodstained, Days Gone, Fire Emblem Three Houses, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, Disco Elysium, Resident Evil 2, Jedi Fallen Order, Outer Wilds, Control, and Death Stranding.
I would probably have Fire Emblem a little higher on my list, but honestly,
And I mean,
objectively,
I'd be
it
okay
looks pretty
bumping
good.
Sekiro down one more spot.
I don't know. I think it's good the way it is. I think Sekiro is a mechanical triumph,
Yeah.
and I think it achieves a certain balance and distinguishes itself in a already like fucking tightly controlled field. That while From Software might dominate it, they still made a sincere, concerted effort to shake up a genre that they both created and completely fucking control. And I think they absolutely achieved that with Sekiro.
Yeah, exactly. Props to the big
Yeah.
new IP, you know?
Yeah.
They took some risks with it, and it paid off. It's a very cool game.
Yeah. I think it ranks above Fire Emblem, not by much, but it does.
No, you're right. I'd agree with that. Technically, it's more of an achievement.
Yeah, you're right. It does feel tremendously good when you nail the perfect block and
Right?
and go for one of those kill shots.
Yeah.
It's pretty special. Okay.
Yeah, it looks pretty good, though.
I mean, I'd love to see Cadence in there, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
If you can't think of what it would kick out, then it can't be in. That's just how she goes.
I mean, I'd kick out Days Gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I was outvoted on. So fucking
Yeah, but I'm not. I would definitely veto that. Cadence, I could play that game tomorrow, and there's no way that game beats Days Gone. There's no way.
Just watch. We're gonna lock this list in. And you're gonna go play it tomorrow, and I'm gonna get a furious Slack message. Fuck, man, I fucked up.
Yeah. It's better than Death Stranding. Fuck me, Cadence. Yeah.
Okay. I don't think it's a hill I'm ready to die on.
Fair.
In this war.
Fair.
Which has been relatively civilized, except for what we said while you were peeing.
Oh,
yeah,
you guys
but we'll
talk some shit.
let that come out in the recording when
Yeah,
the
you-
podcast
you-
is released.
You guys actually went ahead with that and talk
Consider
shit.
it a pleasant surprise. It's gonna really make your day in a sense.
Perfect.
Pretty
Hey,
savage.
can't wait. Can't wait to hear that. As long as it's nothing about Hollywood Hulk Hogan,
Oh, shit.
I can take it. I've got a thick skin, okay? But Hogan, as long as he left him out of it.
The Hulkster's taken enough. He's taken enough of a
Yeah.
beating.
Yeah.
Okay, fair. Fine,
Yeah.
fine and fair.
He has.
I won't say we didn't put the leg drop on Hollywood, but what are you gonna say? What are you gonna do? We can't go back. We can't edit.
Here's the deal. Next year, I better see a bit more respect for Hollywood. I better see you guys.
Fine. They put him in a decent fucking game, and I'll start putting out the accolades. What do you say, huh? What do you say?
Fuck the game. The game sucked. Honestly, the game would have been better if it came out with just Hollywood on the roster. A couple others, sure, you need a couple guys to beat up on, but yeah, if it was Hollywood and 9 jobbers, that game would have done better than it did. I guarantee it.
So you're telling me that I got to start rallying for sweaty sushi sex casual racial slur Hollywood Hulk Hogan? Yeah, that's what I got to do. Terry, I gotta rally behind Terry's flag. Is that what's happening? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Dig deep and work hard, and maybe it'll happen one day.
That's right.
God damn. All right. Well, I think that's the list. I think we're there.
Yes, we are. We're there. We're fucking there.
All right, one more time. Number 10, Bloodstained. Number 9, Days Gone. Number 8, Fire Emblem. Number 7, Sekiro. Number 6, Disco Elysium. Number 5, Resident Evil 2. Number 4, Jedi Fallen Order. Number 3, Outer Wilds. Number 2, Control. Number 1, Death Stranding.
It's a list.
I feel pretty good about it.
If this podcast has done anything for me, it's made me want to play Outer Wilds more than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm super excited to play that game now.
It is really, really good.
Yeah.
All right. Fantastic.
All right. Well, we've been here for an age and a half of the Earth, so maybe we should just kind of get out of here.
All right.
I'm down.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening. This will probably be the last podcast of 2019.
Ooh.
This is
decade's
gonna come
done.
out on like December 22nd or something like that. So when you're listening to this, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, whatever it is you celebrate. I hope it's great. Super great.
It'll be so good.
Yeah, go easy on those spiced eggnogs,
Not too easy.
No, we're not getting out of hand or anything, but just,
And by not getting out of hand, we mean maybe getting a little out of hand.
Be responsible, but, fun.
Yeah.
Right.
And definitely do not ever drink and drive. Please, please, please don't do that.
No.
Please, geez. Don't do the thing. It's bad. People will die. People will super die. All right.
Yeah, thanks everybody for listening. We really appreciate it. We will see you in the future in 2020. Until then, take care of yourselves.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Take care of everybody else that you know. And we'll see you next time right here on Press X the Podcast. Peace out.
Bye-bye.